Score North Twin Show.
Score North Twin Show. What's going on? You like my background? This is from the beautiful Grand Casino Hinckley. Maybe a future sponsor of the Score North Twin Show. I will gladly take Grand Casino. Saw a guy earlier in a Muweldy Moore Vikings jersey. Massive respect. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Score North Twin Show YouTube channel and the Score North Twin Show podcast feed. Jumping on here for a little bit of breaking news. It was announced last night that Carlos Correa will be returning to the Twins, and Carlos Correa is indeed activated and ready to go. He is back for the Minnesota Twins after missing the last 2 months. Huge news. It's on the heels too of Byron Buxton, who returned to the Twins last night, hit a home run, also was able to play for the first time in over a month. So now the Twins' two most injured stars and the pivotal stars of their team are now back in the Twins lineup, which is obviously good news. The Twins did lose on Friday to the Cincinnati Reds, the little plucky Reds. However, urgency is now the word from Rocco Baldelli. That was the word, urgency. We need to play with urgency going forward. About 15 games left, and Detroit Tigers won yesterday, so that lead goes to 2.5 games, effectively 3.5 games, since the Twins technically have a tiebreaker over them. Whatever, regardless, there's a team on the Twins' heels. They have to go to Boston after this. They have 4 games in Cleveland starting on Monday, so urgency is the word. And Carlos Correa, after missing the last 2 months with plantar fasciitis, is at least now back with the Twins. I was able to watch some of his BP on Wednesday before pregame availability. I watched him, Buck, Max Kepler, Manuel Margot, who was then also activated later that afternoon. And, you know, I think it was just him taking light swings, more of him just trying to get comfortable, seeing live pitching. The Twins brought up a couple pitchers from high A Cedar Rapids to kind of make life easier. They did not elect for Correa to go on a rehab assignment. That's why they brought these pitchers up here. So at least they can at least see some type of live pitching. And luckily for the Twins, Carlos Correa is now back. I did also hear there could be a plan of him maybe even DHing to start a little bit more, not to keep him on his feet so much. So don't be surprised maybe if you do see Carlos Correa. The lineup isn't posted yet today, but don't be shocked if maybe you see a couple DH days for Carlos Correa. I think that has also been discussed with him to not be on his feet so much. You know, Brooks Lee, Willie Castro offensively haven't been able to produce from the position at short. And Brooks, who I know had a big game against the Angels in the series finale, has really struggled at the plate. And I don't know if you can really rely on him as an everyday bat at short, but I think as they ease Carlos Correa in, kind of not completely similar to what they did with Buck last year, where he was the full-time DH, I do think they're going to try to be very cautious and careful with him. Yes, Carlos Correa plays an excellent shortstop, one of the best defenders at the position in his game, but don't be surprised, if you see him maybe at DH to start for the Minnesota Twins when he is in the lineup. And getting Buxton back also very big for the Twins. Obviously, he hits a home run. He picks up right where he left off, which is all good news. And then he's able to also play some center field, which is going to be big for the Twins. He acknowledged that, look, I'm not going to be healthy the rest of the way. What's my pain threshold that I can play through? And that's obviously what he's trying to do here with the Twins. So it's good that Buxton and Correa are back. They'll have 2 more games on this homestand with the Cincinnati Reds before heading to their biggest road trip and final road trip of the regular season, with those 4 games in Cleveland, 3 in Boston. The division probably out of reach at this point. Even with the sweep of Cleveland, it could make things interesting, but it'd make life pretty difficult still to win that division. Twins' best chance of being in the playoffs is still most likely as a wild card team. They have to hold off the Tigers. They have to hold off Boston, and we'll see what happens from there. But good for the Minnesota Twins to at least get back Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton. I mean, if they don't have those guys in the Twins lineup to start with, I mean, I don't really like the Twins' chances in a playoff series. So they're 2 of the most important players on the Twins. So good to have them back in the lineup. We'll see what Correa looks like. I think I'm more curious on how healthy and how he's able to move. He was able to do sprints, but with this maybe DH plan that they might have to start for him, I'm curious what that bat looks like. We saw last season it was his worst year offensively up until the playoffs started, when the plantar fasciitis was able to fall out of his foot, for the lack of a better word. And then in the playoffs, he was Carlos Correa from old, which is legitimately one of the best postseason hitters in Major League Baseball history. So I wonder if there's still going to be maybe a little bit of a ramp up. And remember, he hasn't played games in 2 months. And even with some of the best baseball players on the planet, it's pretty difficult to not play baseball for 2 months and step in and look like an MVP candidate, which, I mean, when he got hurt, he was easily one of the most important players of the Twins and was having an offensive renaissance after last season's injured season. So curious what he looks like for the Minnesota Twins at the plate, but we'll see what happens from there. I know Judd Zulgad, sports dad, he's at the ballpark this weekend, so you can tweet at him. I'm sure he's throwing some fastballs to Rocco Baldelli. We know the sports dad loves to do that. So you can follow at Jay Zolgab for some more Twins news this weekend. I'm at the last wedding. It's the last wedding of the year, I promise. I promise it's the last wedding of the year. So after that, we'll have some bonus extra innings content, probably for every Cleveland game, because that's going to be some big games. And regardless of the division, it's important for the Twins to continue some wins. So we will have some bonus extra inning content on the road. I won't be in Cleveland, but we will be doing some podcasts from the home site here in Minneapolis for every game against the Twins and Guardians Monday through Thursday, and then some Boston Red Sox as well. And I mean, next weekend, there are 2 weekends from now when the season ends, Baltimore in town. That's going to be a blast, dude. It's going to be an absolute, that's going to be super fun. Boston still, or Baltimore, I should say, is still going to be battling for playoff position with the Yankees, maybe still trying to win the AL East. So how hard are they going to go? Will the Twins be locked into a spot at that point? Could the Twins play Baltimore again in the first round of the playoff series? I think that's also very likely. So you get to see kind of the same team you would have to flip it. They'd most likely go, obviously, to Baltimore in that situation for the wild card series. But this next few weeks, buckle up, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button on the Score North Twin Show YouTube channel. We launched at the beginning of the year. It's been super fun to cover this team. It's been super awesome, even watching you guys kind of populate and watch all these videos and ask for Score North Twins content. I love that. This is exactly why I kind of signed up to do this, because I love covering baseball, love talking baseball, love watching ball. And for you guys to be able to watch it too, or watch this content and get consumed by it, that's super cool. So thank you so much. Yeah, Carlos Correa back after missing the last 2 months for the Minnesota Twins. He was going to be in the lineup for the Twins on Saturday. Oh, by the way, Deshaun Kiersey was optioned for him, for people asking what was the roster move for that. I know Austin Martin got optioned for Byron Buxton. Kiersey will be optioned for Carlos Correa. I still envision Austin Martin probably being part of the Twins playoff roster plans. He's still on the 40-man roster, which makes him still eligible for the playoff roster. We'll see how that roster shakes out. Remember, Bailey Ober wasn't on the wild card series roster last year, but then he pitched and started game one in the ALDS against Houston Astros. So there might be some weird chess moves that might happen that are a little head scratching. But you know what? Make the playoffs first before we start really breaking down what the playoff roster looks like. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. Appreciate everyone listening and watching here on a Saturday morning. Hit the like button, subscribe button on the Score Twin Show YouTube channel. There's Ric Flair as I try to end this video. Appreciate you guys watching. This is Score North Extra Innings.